Hello everyone, I'm Aaron, a birding naturalist. Welcome to my channel. It is March, and March means the beginning of spring migration. However, in California, as in much of the western US and even other parts of North America, we are experiencing quite a bit of rain, a fair number of storms coming through. So what does that mean for migrating birds? During spring migration in North America, huge numbers of birds can be moving around. During the peak of spring migration, as many as 500 to 600 million birds could be moving across the continent of North America every night during the peak high point. And you know what? It might actually be even higher than that. That's a lot of birds. But when a big storm system comes through, that means that that storm system can really impact a lot of birds. And those impacts can be varied, actually. A lot of them are negative, but some of them are actually can be positive. We'll talk about all of these. So, for one thing, kind of the most obvious and most direct impact of a storm on a migrating bird is that the rain and the wind itself can move a bird around. Strong winds can blow birds off course. It is often something that results in strange vagrants showing up, where a bird from North America gets blown badly off course and ends up in Hawaii. Of course, Hawaiian birders would get very excited when this happens, but it's not so great for the bird because it's been pushed way, way off of its normal course. Sometimes this will result in birds never making it back onto course. Many birds displaced like this end up dying. And even if they are able to course correct, it means spending a lot of extra energy to get back on course. So it's getting blown way off course for a bird during migration is not great. But some of the other things that are impacts of storms on a migrating bird are not quite so obvious, but they definitely have impacts. One is oftentimes because birds know that it's dangerous to fly during migration and a storm is going on, that they'll be blown off course, that this can cause them problems. When a storm is coming, many birds will just not fly. They'll ground themselves. So, a bird's like, okay, there's a storm coming, no problem. I will just find a nice patch of habitat to hang out in, and I will wait here until the storm passes. However, that's not completely cost-free. Migration is one of the most dangerous points in a migratory bird's life. And by grounding and waiting out the storm, that bird is kind of exposing itself to a longer period of migration, therefore a longer period of exposure to that danger. Another thing is simply by taking longer, by taking a migration that should last, I'm going to make up a number here, 1 week, and making it last instead 10 days, because a bird had to wait for a few days for a storm to pass. That's extra days where the bird has to find food, has to find shelter on the journey. And so that's just burning up extra resources, that's requiring extra effort for the bird to just because that migration is now taking longer. Another issue with it taking longer is something called ecological mismatch. A lot of times, the migrations of birds match up with or timed with when food resources emerge on the breeding ground or on the wintering ground. This can be true of winter migration or fall migration as well. But what I mean by this is that if a bird is going to Alaska, say, migrating north to Alaska, and everything works properly, then when that bird arrives in Alaska, and about the time that it's set up territory, laid some eggs, and maybe when its babies are hatching, hopefully that's about the same time that lots of insects or lots of seeds or fruit are available in Alaska for the bird to eat and for the bird to feed to its young. But if a bird takes a lot longer to get to Alaska, the plants aren't going to wait. The insects aren't going to wait. And so the delay in arrival for the bird and the consequent sort of rollover delay in establishing a territory and building a nest and laying eggs and incubating and raising and hatching young means that that timing may now be pushed later than the peak of when the food resource is. So it's a mismatch. The timing mismatches. And this can make it a lot harder for a bird to raise a successful brood. So having migrations take longer has these sort of carry-on effects that impact reproductive success and sort of the overall population health of a species. Another impact of making a bird ground while it's on migration is actually an impact on the land. Migrants stop at suitable spots along their migratory path. They're called stopover sites. So, a bird, most birds do not make their entire migration in one flight. They fly for a while, but then they get tired and they get hungry. And so they have to stop someplace to rest and refuel. And then they fly again for a while, but then they get tired and they get hungry as they stop again. Those migratory stopover sites support the birds while they're there. But if birds are having to stop for a lot longer than they've evolved to in the past, and a lot longer than those habitats have evolved to in the past, it is possible for those birds to just put lots of extra stressors, lots of extra impacts on the stopover sites themselves while they're waiting. So this can deplete insect populations, impact plant populations. It can just have a lot of impacts on the land, on the habitat that they're staying in during migration. Now, I did mention that sometimes storms can have a positive impact on migrating birds. And that is because sometimes, especially following a storm, but sometimes also just ahead of a storm, the wind and air conditions can actually be really favorable. They can sort of be either sort of an unusually smooth area of air, which is easier to migrate through, or they can have some tailwinds that sort of push the migrants along in the direction they want to be going in. So sometimes you will see pulses of migrating birds ahead of or just behind a big storm. So there can be some kind of extra bumps and advantages that birds can get from a storm during migration. But overall, I think more of the impacts are sort of on the negative side. And a lot of that can be a real problem with ongoing climate change because, especially for California and other parts of the world as well, the general prediction is we're going to see more storms that are higher intensity, more rainfalls, faster winds. And so these impacts are going to be sort of harder for a bird that's migrating through that storm to ignore. They're going to be grounded more. They're going to have to make these decisions more. They may be faced with several storms in the course of their spring migration, which means more of a delay, more of a mismatch on the breeding ground when they get to. Climate change is definitely going to make migrating birds' lives a bit rougher. So, as it's raining on me now, there's a little food for thought on what the birds that are migrating across North America and many other places around the world may be facing when they come across a big storm, a heavy rainfall. Hope you manage to stay safe and dry. Hope you enjoy the rain. Enjoy spring migration. And until next time, enjoy the natural world.